Thanks, Nick. So let me talk about our approach. Let's say you've committed now to doing an upgrade. What would be the steps, the high-level steps we want to undertake? And what you can see is very standard, and this could apply to most technology projects. In fact, you would have a discovery stage, upgrade and planning, and then the execution. And the execution would include each environment that you would have. Most enterprises would have at least a non-production and a production environment. And some enterprises may have even more, up to 5, 6, 7, 8, even environments I've seen. But more typical 2 or 3 environments. So the execution would be on each one of them, one after the other, and there would be, for each one of them as well, would be testing and validation. And then at the end, there would be a support stage. Now, all of this, it's very much a waterfall kind of approach, but it could also be done pseudo-agile. In the sense that we could have stories and progress or whatever, but you still have these milestones that we want to hit and these stages that we want to do, and they're deliverable at the end of it. And some of those intermediate deliverables that we would have in an enterprise environment, the expectations are definitely higher. You know, we want to do discovery, we want to confirm exactly what the requirements are and document those in the business requirements document. And as well, separately document the technical requirements. We would have test plans. We can assist with developing user acceptance testing, and we will, as a vendor, we would typically perform unit testing, but we would often engage with the client to do user acceptance testing. And then there would be environment certifications from that, and non-production environment certifications. The upgrade plan, of course, precedes all of that. And while we do the upgrade, there would be a runbook or a playbook, which would be a detailed step-by-step procedure of everything that was done. It's good for documentation, it's good for security reasons. It's also good potentially for reproducing and doing again, or learning. And of course, provide weekly status reports on the progress. And this helps it helps with monitoring, and it helps to make the project more successful as well, more likely to be successful. Now, $1,000,000 question, how long does it take? An easy answer is it depends. So it depends on a lot of other things. As Nick mentioned before, the process can be, and at its core, very easy. The reality is, in most enterprise environments, there are multiple considerations. You have to know, do all those steps and deliverables that I mentioned before, capture all the business requirements and the technical requirements. There can be any number of environments, and of course, organizational rules, security rules, onboarding, change requests. All of that makes it potentially take longer, and it really depends on the organization. So it could be a few weeks. Typically, I mean, if we're doing it in our own environment with no security considerations, it could be a few days. But the reality is, in most enterprises, it's at least a few weeks, and it can be a few months, in fact. But we can help you with figuring out how complex it is for your organizations and giving you a more detailed estimate specific to your use case, your environment, and your needs and requirements.